Digital. Now stay tuned for NCAA basketball.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien, along with James Brown, the godfather of college basketball, and welcome to CBS Sports' continuing coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship Tournament. Tonight, we wrap up the regional semifinals with a primetime doubleheader. Right now, the first game of the evening is underway down in Miami. Boston College, who knocked off mighty North Carolina, is playing Bob Knight's Indiana Hoosiers. The score right now is 30-23, Boston College. They are in a timeout right now. And James Brown, let's look at the highlights so far. Boston College, everybody said they had played their big game. I think they're looking at this as their big game. They came out smoking. They are 6 for 9 so far in three-point range.
No question about it, and that's a good sign that emotionally they are fired up. Indiana, when it gets into its half-court offense, good looks inside like this. The Todd Lindemann work well, but Boston College, I don't know why there was a question about whether or not they would be fired up. Good defense leading to breakaway dunks like this. I say they're ready.
There's 7:48 left in the first half. They are not playing there right now. We'll get you out there as soon as we can. It's 30-23, Boston College. Elsewhere tonight in Midwest regional action, Tulsa and top-seeded Arkansas are getting set to square off down in Dallas. We'll catch a chunk of that action during halftime of BC Indiana. Later tonight, Maryland and Michigan, Fab 4 in the second game in Dallas, and our other doubleheader game. Florida and Connecticut will hook up an East Regional nightcap in Miami. Right now, we are going to start you off with Boston College and Indiana. We join that action as we take you courtside, where Vern Lundquist and Clark Kellogg are manning the mics. Enjoy the games, folks.
7:48 remaining first half. Boston College up by 7. It had been a 14-point lead. And Boston College 6 of 9, Clark, in three-point shots.
Well, they really like to use that shot as a weapon. The only danger is when you get off to such a great start, you can sometimes settle too much and too easily for that three-point shot.
Well, Indiana's countered with 3 trays now. That one from Todd Leary, and it's a 4-point margin.
Well, you knew it was just a matter of time. Indiana leads the nation in three-point field goal shooting, and now they're starting to get some good looks at it.
Take that. How do you like it here on the range? 33-26. When they defeated North Carolina last week, they hit 12 threes. They've now got 7 in the ball game.
And they shot 31 threes in that game, Vern.
That foul, Clark, is on Steve Hart off the bench.
You know, typically that three is really a demoralizing shot, but I think in this game, because both teams use it so much and so well, it may not have the dampening effect on Indiana as it might have on some other teams that don't shoot it, because Indiana knows they too can get on a run shooting the three-point shot.
Boston College hit 6 of its first 9 from three-point range to jump out to a 14-point lead. Largest lead of the game was at 22-8. Now the Hoosiers behind Pat Graham have fought back, and they trail currently by 7. There's the rebound to Brian Evans. He's one of the injured Hoosiers with a dislocated shoulder. Damon Bailey pulled abdominal muscle. Pat Graham, bad foot. This is Todd Leary. Looks for Bailey in the corner. Whips it back for the three-point effort of Brian Evans, the sophomore from Terre Haute.
That separated shoulder is on the right hand. It doesn't bother his stroke, and he just stepped in and took a charge on Danye Abrams. A little acting job there by Evans. Drew the whistle. Let's take a look. Danye Abrams with a little contact. That's nothing worse than pedestrians bumping into each other during rush hour time.
Abrams picks up the foul. That is the 6th team foul. Pat Graham comes back into the lineup for Indiana. Evans, he'll shoot a couple. Well, to bring you up to date on what has happened thus far. 3-point field goals. Boston College 7 of 10. Indiana 4 out of 8. The boards have been owned by Boston College thus far. Pat Graham off the bench with 8 points, and he ignited the comeback for Indiana. Last foul was on Curley, his first, team 7th. And now Brian Evans will shoot the second of 2.
And the point you just made about the fouls, Indiana has only committed 2 team fouls, so therefore they'll shoot the rest of the way. And they'll be able to be aggressive defensively because the common foul won't lead to shots for Boston College.
What was once a 14-point lead is now a deuce. Hrabowski. Entry pass goes to Curley, and it's kicked, so they'll inbound it with a fresh 35. Early lead Arkansas over Tulsa in a rematch. Those two teams played earlier this year. This is only the second meeting ever between Indiana and Boston College. The last was 11 years ago. Shot not there. Rebound Hrabowski. There's Curley cutting across the lane. Can't handle the pass. Graham. Evans.
Beautiful.
Henderson travels.
Whoa. Boy, he was open in there. Good push of the basketball by Indiana. And he just couldn't quite get his feet under him.
Here's Howard Isley. He's joined right now by Hrabowski, Curley, Huckabee, and Abram.
Henderson doing a pretty good job on Curley. Not giving him any real solid post position inside.
Abram. Brian Evans with a rebound. And Indiana with a chance to tie. They've not led in the game. They fell behind early by 14 points. Yeah. If the three-pointer goes, they'll have their first lead of the game. That's tipped away and taken by Huckabee. Well, it was sloppy, but it counted.
The result is what you want.
4:45 to go first half. On the line. And it's going to count as over and back. Pat Graham with a look of total disbelief.
Coach Knight getting on top of Todd Leary. Let's take a look. Actually, Pat Graham, there his heel apparently got the side of the half-court line, but it was awfully close, and I think Bob Knight wanted Todd Leary to get the ball from Pat Graham.
There's a foul, and that's going to be 3 free throws. And an earful.
Bob Knight wondering how could the official go for that. See, a lot of times guys will shoot the three-point shot and then scissor kick their legs, hoping to draw contact from the defender, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. See, watch this. Well, no, that was clearly a foul. I mean, he bumped right into him. I thought maybe Gerard Abram had extended his legs. He just came straight down, and Pat Graham root canaled him from behind the arc.
He did what?
Lower body root canal. Just kind of rooted him out with that lower body.
I knew. Okay. Here's Huckabee at the line. (36-31). Huckabee not that adroit at shooting free throws for the season. 57%, but he's canned the first two.
Vern, it's really a critical stretch for Boston College. I think they have to go in with some type of lead because they came out so strong and Indiana made a run. It's important that they weather the storm and go into the halftime locker room up by some margin because they feel like they deserve it if they can play well the last 4 minutes.
Up by 6 right now. Graham takes it strong to the basket. And Graham is in double figures with 10 points.
He's really been a spark plug as Indiana's gotten back into it.
Underneath to Curley. Curley with only 2 points so far in the first half.
He hasn't had many touches in scoring position. And again, Indiana likes to slough off.
Sandy blocked by Brian Evans. Possession arrow, Indiana. 37-33. Time has been called after the block.
That is due to Indiana becoming a little more aggressive at the defensive end of the floor. We'll have an official timeout here. I think there's maybe a wet spot on the floor.
Yep. That'll be taken care of right quickly.
You know, I talked about Boston College needing to go into the lead, needing to go into halftime with the lead, just from a psychological standpoint, I think. And Indiana, on the other hand, if they can maintain this small deficit, they'd have to feel good going into halftime only down 4 or 5 versus what it was 14 earlier in the game.
That 14-point edge came at 22-8 after BC hit 6 of its first 9 3-point shots. Isley. Oh, good pass to Hrabowski, and a nice off-balance shot that doesn't fall, and then a travel.
You want to be quick inside, but not in a hurry. Hrabowski did a lot of good things there and just got a little impatient on his missed retrieve.
Graham and Leary, along with Damon Bailey, Evans, and Henderson for Indiana. Arkansas still leads by 9 in the first game in Dallas. And, of course, last night, Arizona and Missouri won out west. Little touch pass. That was terrific. Henderson, though, lost control on his way up. It will be Indiana's ball.
You've got to squeeze that orange when you catch it in tight with an opportunity to score. Henderson did not quite vice grip that one. Maybe the ball a little slick. Actually, Curley got a hand in there.
Evans. Hrabowski didn't have to leave his feet for the rebound. That looks a little unusual.
Those are the best kind of boards, the flat-footed ones.
Right.
They all add up, man.
Save that energy.
And you talk about energy, neither team, and I didn't expect it from Indiana, but I think the fact that Boston College has kind of been riding with the parking brake on a little bit the last 6 or 7 minutes plays into the hands of Indiana because they're depleted in terms of depth, and they're also a little banged up.
Huckabee that time takes it all the way in and gets the basket plus draws the foul.
Right to the rack here. Beats Graham. Obviously Leary not there in time. Here we take another look. Little brush screen. That frees him from Graham. And then Leary just unable to get there to square up to Huckabee and committed the foul.
Huckabee shoots 1. Already with 12 points. 13. And it's a 7-point edge again with 2:38 remaining in the first half of play.
Abram really harassing Leary when he has the ball.
Down for 2. And the foul. He'll shoot a free throw.
See, this is an interesting adjustment by Indiana to throw Pat Graham inside. See, he's got Malinsky on his hip. That's twice now that he's been able to get inside and actually get an opportunity for a 3-point play. Watch, he gets a little hook in there, got the chicken wing out, no whistle, and able to get to the cup and finish. A lot of times you'll see Indiana throw Damon Bailey into the post area to do just what Pat Graham's doing. But the mismatch is Graham and Malinsky tonight, and Coach Knight looking to take advantage of that.
Malinsky draws the foul, his second, and the lead is back to 4 now for Boston College. Here's Malinsky. Ryan Evans almost had it, and a piece of us.
Well, we're barricaded pretty good by the TV monitors. Excellent anticipation, just unable to come up with it. You see the anguish on his face. He was looking at 2 points the other way if he could have controlled that.
There was a degree of anguish on my face. Just a slight.
I would have blocked him out for you,
I
Mark.
know that, Clark. I know that. 2:10 remaining in the first half. 40-36. Curley foul. Near the conclusion of tonight's game, Clark and I will select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevy donates a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. Last foul was on Henderson, his first and only the 15th foul. Now Lindemann comes back in, and Alan Henderson will get a rest. Malinsky already with 8 points, his first 8 points at the tournament. Now Huckabee looks back at Jim O'Brien for instructions. Under 2 minutes. Curley. Boy, Curley's having a battle trying to get open in the low post.
Alan Henderson did a nice job on him inside, and now Lindeman banging him around pretty good.
Abrams. Evans with the rebound for Indiana.
Abram is explosive, but he's also prone to taking some ill-advised shots, and that was one there.
Bailey back to Graham. Skip pass. And there's Lindeman with Curley on him. Graham a little off balance. Hurried the shot. Huckabee for Curley. What a play! But there was a travel by Malinsky.
Boy, excellent presence of mind by Curley. Couldn't control it himself, but tried to tip it to a teammate. Malinsky just a little anxious to get to the hole.
Alan Henderson comes back in for Lindeman. And it's still 40-36 as we've got 63 seconds to go first half. Once a 14-point Boston College lead. Indiana climbed to within 2, but they have not tied it, nor have they led. Bailey off balance. Malinsky loose ball picked up by Abram. And he loses it. At the other end, it's 2-on-2. Larry all the way.
Boston College 40, Indiana 38. Boston College should hold it for the last shot here to assure themselves of at least some kind of lead going into the locker room. They'll probably spread it out and let Huckabee try to penetrate for himself or penetrate and pitch. You want to get busy at about the 7-second mark.
Less than a second between the shot clock and the game clock. Almost stolen. Curley. Offensive foul.
Curley still not getting up. Oh, okay, just taking a little breather. Let's take a look. He splits the double team. Oh, my. He had his whole body by Alan Henderson, and they tangled up at the hip, and he got whistled for the offensive foul. At best, that should have been a no call.
Off balance. Oh, boy. Almost left. What was a 14-point lead is now 2. Boston College over Indiana.
Exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship Regional Semifinal game is the motor oil you can rely on for performance, protection, and quality.
Hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien along with James Brown, and welcome to Pennzoil at the half. Boston College 40-38 at halftime. They're up by 2 in a spirited Boston College team.
Spirited, effective. Boston College 7-10 from three-point land early on. That helped to get to a 14-point lead, but Indiana is in boot camp every week with Bob Knight. They can handle the storm. They're doing it right now.
They're up by 2 at the half, 40-38. Another game going on right now in the Midwest Regional down in Dallas. Tulsa and Arkansas has jumped out to a 28-17 lead. Tulsa came out fast, though. Poole Williamson buries the 3 there, and then Arkansas has been dominating inside.
Corliss Williamson, nice mobility from the wing or down low. This guy is shooting 75% down low. He can do it.
Right, our goal is to get as much action as possible tonight. They're in a timeout in Dallas, so we'll take a timeout here. When we come back, we'll give you action here on CBS. Hope you're enjoying the tournament, and hope you're enjoying your evening as well. Action has resumed out in Dallas. 6:23 left before halftime there. Arkansas leads 28-19. We're going to send you out to Jim Nance and Billy Packer. Enjoy a little taste of this.
Tulsa trailing by 9 and shooting only 30% from the field.
Jim, they're back into this game. You know, all the multiple substitutions that Arkansas has made, it's kind of given Tulsa an opportunity to get their feet back on the ground here.
Collier had to beat the shot clock. Arkansas racing now. And lob it, Williamson, goodbye. Wow. Boy, he stared down the cylinder.
Well, that ball, I think, was going in the basket. Williamson just went to put the finishing touches on it.
Inside, Rollo is held. Held by Martin. Spectacular play here by the Razorbacks.
Well, let's see. Dillard's such a great shooter. No. Good catching in.
Elton Martin, his first personal foul, team foul number 4.
Perfect pass. And look at the big man, the SEC Player of the Year, Corliss Williamson, hustled down on that break.
Ball almost came back out of the cylinder, Bill.
And would not have been a basket. If a ball does not clear the net and bounces back out, it's not a basket.
Brower in for Tulsa for the first time. Number 24.
Son of Rich Brower, former coach at St. Louis U, looked upon to hit some outside shots. Collier posting up down inside against his zone.
The baseline, Williamson rejects it from behind. Tulsa basketball.
No reset on the shot clock. The ball was blocked.
10 seconds on the shot clock. There's McDaniel. Clint McDaniel has come off the bench and made 3 baskets, including a 3. Wanza Johnson. He traveled.
Jim, when you talk about the bench, Nolan Richardson doesn't have a guy on his squad that plays more minutes than 4 of the 5 starters for Tulsa. So they're used to playing at 20, 25 minutes.
Timeout called by Arkansas. Arkansas leads by 11. Arkansas with the ball and an 11-point lead. Later tonight here, Michigan and Maryland. Most of the nation will be seeing that game.
Again, against the press, you notice Dillard and Remont all the way down the court. So if they beat the press, you've got 2 great perimeter shooters ready to attack. Great man-to-man. Matchup inside. Still Collier and Williamson. They can't get him the ball.
Arkansas now fighting the shot clock. 3-pointer. McDaniel now 4 for 4.
McDaniel, 3 points.
And 10 points.
When Nolan Richardson reached till he found the guy that was hot. It's been McDaniel. He wasn't a starter in this game.
Tulsa can't find a player hot, especially their leading scorer, Gary Collier.
Been buried in the zone. Here he is down low again.
Lane. That's now 8. He scored 4 quick ones at the start of this game. Martin brings it across. Nice Johnny Steele. Turned his head. He tossed him. Wanza Johnson dunks it.
Well, Jim, you can see that speed and quickness of Johnson that you talked about, his track ability.
Oh, McDaniel. You can see that shooting touch, Billy.
Well, this is why this team is so tough to scout. But who is it going to be?
Collier, 3-pointer.
Every time he's taking an outside shot, it doesn't seem like the ball is set in his hand.
Brower. Remont's had it. And Arkansas.
So you get a little taste of that relentless pressure of Arkansas against Tulsa. They lead 36-23, and Nolan Richardson's not kidding when he says 40 minutes of hell.
No question about it. Nolan Richardson believes in translating some of his personal philosophies on the floor. Pressure defense he really believes in. But he rewards his team offensively by letting them get up the floor fast. He could care less if there's a turnover. They'll make it up on the defensive end.
36-23 right now, 3:16 left in the first half in that ball game. We'll keep you up to date on that. Here's what's happening later tonight here on CBS in our doubleheader on this Friday evening. Maryland and Michigan, the battle inside of Joe Smith and Juwan Howard, the Fab Four. You know all the stories there. That game coming up around 10 o'clock. And some of you will see Florida and Connecticut around 10 o'clock tonight. We're going to send you back to Miami now, and Vern Lundquist and Clark Kellogg for the second half of Indiana and Boston College. The Eagles up by 2. Vern?
All right, Patrick, they are up by 2, and we are joined by Leslie Visser. Les?
Vern, at the half, Woody O'Brien also told Bill Curley to step out a little because Indiana's doing a good job of converging. As for the 3-point shot, he said it's still open, penetrate, and kick it back out. Vern?
All right, Les. Bill Curley, 1 of 6 from the field here in the first half of the game.
Well, again, Indiana likes to do a nice job laying in the lap of a good inside player. One of the ways you counteract that is by swinging the ball from side to side, reversing the ball. You'll have to see more of that. Alan Henderson, a marked man, literally, as you took a look at his face, he had a couple of scratches. But I would expect Boston College to try to establish Curley here in the first 3 or 4 minutes.
Huckabee and Isley joined by Abrams, Abram, and Curley. Underneath the Danye Abrams. And Alan Henderson has it for Indiana, and a chance to tie or take the lead. It has not been tied, nor has Indiana had a lead tonight. They still don't. Huckabee. Oh, good pass. Bad shot. Abrams playing a little out of control. Hell ball. Indiana gets it from the possession arrow.
Boy, that scramble comes about because Danye Abrams unable to finish that nice lead pass. Otherwise, we'd be going the other way, and Danye is asking to come out. Apparently, he may have jammed a finger or a wrist.
Grabowski comes off the bench for Boston College. And Indiana with yet another chance to tie it up. Here's Henderson, guarded by Curley, puts it over him, good tied. First time tonight since we were at zip-zip. 40 all. Isley looks inside for Curley. Grabowski takes the shot and cans it. So 10 points off the bench now for BC.
Well, Jim O'Brien talked about that, and we mentioned it in the first half. Because Indiana wants to lay back on Curley so much, that elbow jump shot will be available all night long for the Eagles.
42-40.
Boston College has been primarily man-to-man right now in a 2-3 zone.
Damon Bailey hasn't had a basket in the last 8 minutes. Graham has the first lead of the night for the Indiana Hoosiers. They are up by 1.
Boy, just excellent ball movement there. And Graham had all day to get himself set. And when he has time, mark it up.
Curley, only his second basket of the night.
And look where he got it from, Vern. About 16 feet, decided to step out.
Curley has 4 points. Evans quickly over to Graham.
Look at the spacing here. They're really making Boston College cover an awful lot of ground.
No call, basket no good. Grabowski rebound for the Eagles. Underneath to Curley again. And he'll shoot free throws. One of the concerns for Bob Knight and the Indiana Hoosiers was foul problems for Alan Henderson. That is only his second.
Yeah, he did a nice job battling Curley without committing fouls. And you take a look at another guy who's done a good job for a long time, Bob Knight.
It wasn't even Henderson's second. It's now been given to Evans. Curley is an 80% free throw shooter.
Yeah, he's really in elite territory when you talk about the shooting percentage he has from the floor, which is 57, and then being able to make 80% of his free throws. He's in that rare area of being a 60-80 guy. You can count those guys on one hand.
Henderson calls for it. Curley knocks it away. They call Curley for the foul.
Well, those two guys are really working hard on each other at both ends of the floor.
No move to the bench yet. Evans gets the basket on the inbounds play. And it's a 45-45 ball game. Whoa! Andy. And quickly, Alan Henderson at the other end.
Curley couldn't foul him. He's got 3. Great transition basket on the made field goal by Indiana. The tendency is to relax after you score. Indiana Indiana just made Boston College pay.
Isley. That was pretty.
Better keep your head up. No popcorn and hot dogs tonight. You'll miss something.
49-47 Boston College.
BC probably going to stay more in the zone in an effort to protect Curley. He has 3 fouls.
He's the only player in foul trouble. Damon Bailey saved it and did more than that. He fed Brian Evans for the three-pointer. It's a 50-49 Indiana lead, their second lead of the night.
We're going to take a look at Kevin Hrabowski. I don't think he has the chance to get this ball, and then he dives, and that leaves Brian Evans open for the 3.
15:55 remaining in regulation play. Indiana on top by 1 in this half. BC 67%. Indiana has hit 5 of 7. Now it's Abram, Huckabee, Curley. Danier Abrams is back in the lineup, and so also is Isley. Curley with a rebound. Got away with an elbow, but the tip doesn't fall. Henderson. And it was touched last by Boston College. Arkansas continues to lead big at the half by 15. Those of you who joined us late, Boston College had a 14-point lead early on in this game. There's Curley. After Henderson's shot doesn't fall.
You know, Indiana would like to get his 4th foul on him.
Of these 4 seniors who start for Boston College, by far the most excitable is Gerard Abram. He just canned the 3. He's got 10 points.
Look at the spacing here by Indiana. See, that's what makes their passing game so effective. Good move here to have Henderson on. Actually, Danier Abrams on Henderson.
At the other end, that was an ill-advised pass by Huckabee. And what a smart play by Damon Bailey. Isley picks up his 3rd foul.
His 3rd and a second team foul against the Eagles.
Indiana with a 2-point deficit right now, 52-50. They have led by 1 twice in this half after falling behind by 14 in the early moments of the game. There's Pat Graham, leading scorer for the Hoosiers thus far. Evans. Nope. Huckabee hurries it up.
To seal off Allen Henderson, because he was the last line of defense and unable to get through Curley, and Huckabee looked like he was on prom night. He got a good escort to the cup that time.
Where was the limo? That one's tipped away, and that'll be Indiana's ball.
There you see, right in the right of the screen, there Curley is stealing off Henderson, and Huckabee with the easy one at the goal.
That's for 2, just inside the line. Bailey has 6 points now. He's averaging 20 for the season.
He's only scored 22 in the tournament thus far, but he does so many other things. He moves the ball, he defends, he rebounds. And really, when you think about how banged up they've been, Vern, the way this Indiana club has played is really a testimony to their fortitude.
Isley over the head of Bill Curley. That's the 9th Boston College turnover. And yet another chance now for the Indiana Hoosiers to tie or go on top. has got 3 fouls. Travel.
A travel violation. Boston College ball.
Coach Knight giving Curtis Shaw 2 ears full, I guess.
Any tickets for Charlotte? Foul underneath.
Well, it's going to be interesting now. The strategy, obviously, both ways is to try to establish more of an inside presence.
Second personal against Henderson and the 3rd team foul against the Hoosiers.
See, that's prime position inside for Danye Abrams, able to draw Henderson's 2nd foul.
Abrams a 59% shooter over the season.
Whoa.
Looks like a 39% shooter on that one.
Paint and glass flying everywhere on that miss.
(54-52), 12:35 to go. When they have won this year, Indiana has been at the line of 29 times, and they are an excellent free throw shooting team. Haven't been there that much so far. Indiana is 4 out of 5. Excuse me, Clark.
It's really been a game played primarily on the perimeter, although both teams would like to establish their big people inside.
10 on the shot clock. 54-52, 12-10 remaining. Traveling. That's 12 Indiana turnovers in the ball game.
Coach Knight upset that Leary doesn't come back to get the ball. You want people in positions where they're comfortable and most effective. Obviously, Evans trying to create that time. That's not his role or his strength.
Boston College up by 2. Underneath the Danye Abrams. Foul on Evans. That's his 2nd, and that is the 4th team foul. 11:57 remaining. 2-point Boston College lead. Pat, as he continues his career at Indiana University. Pat Knight, who is a reserve in this team, a junior from Bloomington. Abrams. Nope. Alan Henderson with the rebound.
Well, Indiana willing to give up that jump shot in order to sag in and keep the ball out of Curley's hands. That's a shot Abrams or Rabowski has to make when they take it.
Bailey works hard for this shot.
That's where he's most effective, down low. And Huckabee, an excellent defender, and matches Bailey pound for pound, inch for inch down there. Sometimes the offense wins even when defense is solid.
Abrams. Huckabee penetrates, dishes for the 3-point effort, and canned it. Howard Isley with 13 points, and the lead is 3 for Boston College.
Vern, that 3-man weave Boston College runs is really tough to defend because not only do they spread you out and pitch for the 3, but they can beat you off the dribble, so you have to be ready to help. Henderson as he split the screen on the weak side.
Bailey, pump fake, draws the foul, throws up the shot. That will they give him to.
The personal foul is charged to Boston College's number 12, Malcolm Huckabee, his 2nd personal and the 3rd.
Good ball fake here. You see Indiana players do that an awful lot. Use that ball fake to lift the defender, and Bailey able to draw the foul.
Foul was on Huckabee, his 2nd. That's the 3rd team foul.
You know, you can only make that fake when you've got the ball squeezed with 2 hands and you're on balance. So it happens because they're sound fundamentals.
Evans got it. Ryan Evans has got 12 points. And BC is up by 1, 57-56.
Well, nice help and recover by Henderson.
Abrams. Nope. Graham rebounds for Indiana and a chance for the Hoosiers to reclaim the lead. Back it goes to Graham. That's for three. No. At the other end, Gerard Abram back to Huckabee for three. No. Guns have grown silent.
Yeah, they have. They put the silencer on us both ways, at least from behind the three-point line.
Larry. Oh, the most unlikely shot. Hoosiers up by one, 58-57. Trying to get where they have been so many times into the Elite Eight. Boston College hasn't been there. Isley. Picked off by Evans. At the other end, here's Larry. Largest lead of the night for the Indiana Hoosiers. And Jim O'Brien quickly says timeout.
A tradition.
The Hoosiers have hit 5 of their last 6 baskets en route to a 10-3 run. It's not easy for me to say. And here are the guard distribution and points for BC. Steve Hart is now checked into the lineup, number 23 for Indiana. He guards Isley. And a quick correction, I got one step ahead of myself in the alliterative process here. Boston College was in the Elite Eight in 1982. They haven't made it to the Final Four. Curley into the hands of Damon Bailey.
Curley not getting many touches, and his looks are always challenged and under duress.
That will be Boston College's ball. Molinsky is checked back in now for BC, so we'll set the lineups for you. Huckabee brings the ball across the timeline. Isley, Molinsky, Curley, and Rabowski for the Boston College Eagles. Here's Huckabee, the elbow, short. The tip is good. Bill Curley.
Weak side rebounding position. Shots typically go to the opposite side from which they're taken when they're missed. And Curley in good weak side rebounding position that time.
Larry and Bailey, along with Evans, Hart, and Henderson for Indiana. Whistle, foul on Molinsky. That's his third, and it is the team fourth.
Both teams right now, Vern, sitting on 14 fouls. And I think as this game continues to be played at this pace, obviously your half-court execution and being able to defend without fouling will be key down the stretch.
Pat Graham checks back in now for the Hoosiers. Bailey inbounds to Graham. 60-59 with 7:28 remaining. Coming up later tonight, UConn and Florida. Evans.
He is so smooth and efficient. He can shoot the three and able to post up that time.
Rabowski. Todd Leary grabs it for Indiana. Bailey flies down the right side, takes it all the way. The lead is 5.
Well, the few transition opportunities this half have belonged to Indiana.
Another turnover. That's 11 for Boston College. This could be a dagger. But it's not going to be. Damon Bailey gets called for the foul, his first and the 15th foul. Danye Abrams checks back in for Boston College, and Steve Hart comes back in for the Indiana Hoosiers. Gerard Abram also is on the court now. Henderson with a nifty defensive job.
You see 3 white shirts around anybody Curley that catches it in the paint. That's because they're so conscious of where the ball is, and everybody's ready to help out defensively for Indiana. So you need ball reversals if you're Boston College to try to move the defenders for IU.
Abrams.
That's big-time work for a freshman, Byron.
Yes, it is.
Sit down in the post and then show a soft touch.
Abrams has 4 points, 64-61, 5:45 to go. Bailey passes on the shot, finds Graham. Too strong, rebound Curley, Boston College. The three, we're tied.
The three-pointer is such a weapon, even more so in transition. They had numbers, they spread themselves well, and then lined up Isley behind the arc.
Isley leads Boston College now with 16 points.
Boston College showing zone. They've shown a lot more of that since Curley picked up his third foul.
That's the 14th Indiana turnover. Isley trying to get a shield from Abrams, finds Curley instead, and Henderson draws the foul.
What a nice dump inside by Isley.
Henderson commits his third personal foul.
Watch this low, hard one by Howard Isley to Bill Curley, who had Henderson on his hip. And there's the mugging. Got him on top of the dome. Beautiful post position by Curley. An excellent feed by Howard Isley. That's the only place he could put that ball to get it inside to Curley. Take a look at the numbers here. 4 on 2, and they spread out for the triple. Mark it up.
Tied it. There's another foul on Indiana. And that is the 7th team foul. Second foul on Damon Bailey.
And now Indiana has committed 17 fouls. BC still at 4. And what that does, if you're Boston College, if you're able to get on top, you can continue to be aggressive defensively without worrying about a foul leading to 2 free throws. And Danye, young fella, we got to work on that free throw stroke.
One thing to get the opportunity, then you got to convert.
Sure.
As a team, excuse me, Clark, they're 5 of 11 now.
Yeah, the laundry's not done until the clothes are washed, folded, and put up. Much with free throws.
You're showing a domestic side I didn't realize you had. 4:43 to go. 5 of 12 from the free throw area now for Boston College. BC leads by 1, 4.5 to go. Henderson over Abrams for 2.
Beautiful. Good patience, good balance, good finish.
Henderson with 10, Indiana up by 1.
If you're Boston College, you've had success going inside. Don't get away from it now.
Except Abrams has got to handle that pass.
Boy, I think that ball may have gone off the Hoosier. The official obviously saw it otherwise.
Minutes remaining.
Boston College back man-to-man now, which means you've got to talk and get over screens.
Bailey on the line. It's Boston College ball.
And there's a timeout here at the arena with the score. The Hoosiers.
Bailey going to try to get it up inside. Actually loses it right off his leg.
By 1, Boston College will inbound. Vern Lundquist along with Clark Kellogg. And the Boston College Eagles, 4 seniors and a freshman in their starting 5. This is a senior class that as freshmen went 1-15 in Big East play. Here's Huckabee. Saw the possession arrow is in favor of Boston College. For 2, and Boston College reclaims the lead. Up by 1 at 67-66 with 3:20 remaining.
BC going back to the man-to-man. The zone has allowed Curley to play with 3 fouls and Isley as well. The free throw situation critical down the stretch. BC with only 14 fouls. Indiana already with 7. So in a tight game, that's a huge advantage for Boston College.
Shot clock now at 7. Larry, don't know that he wanted it, had to take it. And in transition, here's Isley. Spots up for 3. No.
I think Boston College has to be really selective with their threes. Look to Curley inside and see if you can draw that foul.
Henderson is Curley with 3 fouls, had to lay off of it. In this half, which began with BC up by 2, Indiana got its first lead of the night. They were up by as many as 5. Right now, it's Indiana ahead by a point. Early on tonight, Boston College led by 14. That was at 22-8. 3-pointers then a factor. Haven't been that much since.
Curley wants it inside.
Got it inside. And Henderson's going to pick up the foul. 4 fouls on Alan Henderson. Arkansas leads by 14. Now Bill Curley, who hits 80% of his free throws over the regular season, is at the line. Boston College with free throw problems tonight. And they continue.
Well, he's the guy you want at the line. Danye Abrams has struggled. And Bill Curley, based on what he does normally, has struggled tonight, too.
He's now 3 of 6, so he's hitting 50%. Tied at 68 with 2 minutes remaining in regulation play. Look at Indiana. All 5 free throw attempts came in the first half. They've yet to go to the line in this second half. Evans off the mark. Curley with a rebound. Fouled by Evans.
And see, that's where the free throws and the foul problems come into play. See, Boston College shoots the rest of the way. Indiana, BC still has 2 fouls to give before Indiana gets to the line on common fouls. Well, I don't know about that one. Brian Evans didn't make a lot of contact there.
Indiana has chosen to use a timeout. They do so with 1:46 remaining in regulation play. And the Eagles and the Hoosiers notched at 68. Fouls to give, and the possession arrow favors the Eagles, but they have not shot free throws well in this half.
Well, you like the volume. Obviously, the results have been less than what BC would want. But Curley knocks down that one. And again, the foul situation allows Boston College to be fairly aggressive at the defensive end, to apply pressure, to be aggressive in going after loose balls. Indiana, on the other hand, has to be rather tentative because of the foul situation.
That one stayed in. Boston College by 2. 1:40 remaining. Bailey cutting. Quick glance underneath for Henderson. Abrams guarding Evans. Here's Bailey. Huckabee out on him. 10 on the shot clock.
Really looking to try to get it into Henderson. Now they're going to have to fight the shot clock.
Bailey, the senior, takes the shot. Rims out. Boston College ball.
Oh, he got a good look. His defender fell down. Now you go right inside, Vern. You go back to Curley inside and try to force Indiana to foul you. Henderson and actually Curley and Evans really going at each other.
Abrams passes on the shot. Isley takes it. Evans for three. No! Boston College has the ball. Foul in the backcourt.
Gerard Abrams, not that good a free throw shooter. He looks like he's slightly injured, but he just told the official, Charlie Strange, that he's okay. You know, I met Gerard Abrams' uncle. They call him Uncle Joe. And he told me he sent Jim O'Brien the videotape that allowed Jim O'Brien to say, hey, this is a guy I'd like to have. And now he's at the line looking to give his team a 6-point lead.
Indiana has called timeout. They've got one left. Gerard Abrams only a 50% free throw shooter, but in the first round win over Washington State, he sank 2 free throws to cinch the victory. And he's at the line again.
Yeah, he's a big shot taker and a big shot maker. With him, sometimes you have to throw his numbers out of the window. He's a little volatile, he's excitable, but that energy level he brings is something that Boston College has appreciated throughout his career.
Got 2 more.
Now, you still want to defend if you're BC. Don't let Indiana get a quick look at the 3. And that's what they've done all this half, Vern, is force Indiana to use a lot of clock before shooting.
Damon Bailey's shot is short. Abram has it. 10 seconds remaining. Foul. The run may be over for the Indiana Hoosiers.
And boy, did they max it out, Vern. I just looked at Pat Graham when he committed that foul. He grimaced because that left foot is hurting. Hasn't practiced for probably 4 weeks with any kind of consistency. Bailey, that pulled stomach muscle, one of the worst injuries you can have, athlete or not, especially when you're talking about basketball. And this team has really just fought and fought and fought. And they ran into Boston College Club that was able to make enough big plays down the stretch.
How about this improbability as Pat Knight enters the game? 2 weeks ago, Boston College was blown out by Georgetown by 23 points, and that man's job was said to be on the line. Since then, having obtained an invitation to the NCAA tournament, all they've done is knock off Washington State, North Carolina, and they're 10 points away from whipping Indiana. Foul on Pat Graham.
And the thing about it is, not only did Jim O'Brien have to go through tremendous adversity with this program and team, but personal tragedy stepped into his life recently, well, in the last 3 years. And I tell you what, he's got to be feeling tremendous right now for these kids and the way they've been able to grow each year and now still alive in the tournament.
Those of you around the country may not know that Jim O'Brien lost his wife, who was his college sweetheart, Christine. Her heart failed her 3 years ago. He has 2 daughters, Amy and Eric, both great athletes. And this one-time star guard at Boston College, whose job was said to be in jeopardy, has his team in the Elite Eight. The last 9 points of the ball game scored by the Eagles. The improbable journey will continue. Right now, let's go to Leslie Visser with Jim O'Brien and a couple of players.
Well, Boston College's magical history tour continues. Congratulations on to the regional final. Jimmy, the Carolina and Indiana back-to-back. How'd you do it?
Well, I think it just shows a lot of character on the part of these kids. They've just really dug down, and they've played with a lot of heart and determination right now, Leslie.
Well, Harold, you hit the shot with 8 seconds left on the shot clock. What were you looking to do there?
We were looking to go inside, but it didn't open up, and I thought I could take my man to the basket and pull up, and that's what I did.
Malcolm, congratulations to you. The three-point shot was open early the whole game.
Yeah, you know, we knew we were going to get a lot of open shots. We knew they were going to pack it down low on Billy Curley. But we just had to step up and hit our big shots again, the same way we did against North Carolina. You know, when we opened up the middle for Billy Curley, he's tough to stop down low. So we're happy to be here.
Can you put this in perspective, Jimmy? What does this mean?
Not yet. I mean, you know, we just won 2 games over the 2 of the better programs in America, and our kids just deserve a lot of credit. I'm just hoping we can have a good effort now on Sunday.
Keep going. On to the regional final. Congratulations. Back to you.
All right, Leslie, our final score is 77-68. All 4 seniors were in double figures. So for Clark Kellogg and Leslie Visser, I'm Vern Lundquist. Thanks so long from Miami Arena. BC wins it. Florida and UConn are next.
All right, we'll be back there in about a half an hour. We'll get you a tip time in a moment for Florida, UConn, and Indiana goes out of the tournament. Boston College 77-68, and the Sports Illustrated jinx no longer here. It says take that Tar Heels, and you can just insert an Indiana over that. Take that Indiana, JB. What a win for BC.
No doubt about it. And, you know, I really like Bill Curley. I know we talk so much about Boston College doing a great job from three-point land, but Bill Curley, again, a very mediocre first half, but he stayed with it. 13 rebounds, 11 points. I really think he came through when they needed him.
As I said, take that Indiana. I dropped this earlier, and there it is. I'm going to get it right. I'm going to stick with this bit, and there it is. All right. Let's tell everybody what's going to come on later on this evening around 10 o'clock. We're going to tip Maryland, Michigan is our other big game tonight. The Wolverines against Maryland, and then in the East, Florida and Connecticut. The tip of that is going to be about 30 minutes from now. We'll get you an exact tip time. In fact, we have it now. It's 9:56 Eastern time for Florida and UConn, and Vern Lundquist and Clark Kellogg will be along for that one. Meantime, there's a game going on out in Dallas in the Midwest Regional. Arkansas and Tulsa. Arkansas leads 74-58. Let's go to Jim Nance and Billy Packer for that one.
Tipped in by Corliss Williamson as you join us. Arkansas now with its largest lead, 18-point advantage. Long-range 3, Gary Collier.
Gary Collier, 3
Arkansas led in this half. At one time by 16, Tulsa went to a lineup with its tallest player being 6'4". They trimmed the lead to 8, but then Arkansas responded going small, and they got the lead right back up there again.
Jim, we talk about tired legs sometimes, and then you have guys that really have fresh feet. And McDaniels, he is flying tonight. Obviously got off to a good offensive first half, but he is really moving.
Timeout on the floor. Arkansas up 15.
How you enjoying the championship so far? Well, how'd you like to do a little skying of your own? No problem. With an Achieva Special Edition from Oldsmobile, you can take off anytime. Loaded with anti-lock brakes, airbag, air, automatic, and more for just $13,995, you'll be playing way above the rim. Why should you? It's your money.
Dear car owners, if you had a brake problem tomorrow, could you think of one brake specialist to go to? Where can you go for same-day brake service? A guarantee on brake shoes and pads for as long as you own your car. And the expertise of doing over 2 million brake jobs a year? Midas.
Think of us as the brake specialists. We're pretty good at mufflers, too.
Our barbecue chicken sandwich already has so many fans, it's at KFC to stay. Folks can't get enough of those strips of chicken smothered in a tangy honey barbecue sauce. Of course, the introductory $1.49 price makes it really tempting.
Plus, $1.49 barbecue chicken sandwich.
It's about facing Michigan, do they? Underneath, Wilson lost it going up. Saves it to Bonner. Foul on Dillard.
Of course, in that game coming up, the last time that Gary Williams brought a team in here, he brought Boston College in here, lost in the NCAA tournament to Memphis State.
That's the last time he was in the Sweet 16, right? 1985.
Bonner, 2 shots.
I expect that's going to be a good one next. And Michigan this year, still hard to predict, but they don't seem to blow anybody out.
Well, we talked about guys having good NCAA tournaments. Juwan Howard and Joe Smith have been outstanding. 2 that will go head-to-head in the next game.
But Michigan just seems to have a knack for knowing what it has to do to win. Stewart back in for Arkansas.
Stewart has had a fine all-around game tonight. Good passing, rebounding, hit the shots when they're available. He's made no mistakes. Fine mental game.
Shea Seals in for Rollo. So the small lineup again, Billy, for Tulsa. And for the audience that wasn't here earlier, this actually worked for a while. The tallest player on the floor right now is 6'5", Dwayne Bonner.
But again, it'll be tough working now because they've got 3 guards on the floor for Arkansas. And McDaniel, Beck, and Thurman. There's that dribble penetration I talked about before. Williamson has not given it to him.
And McDaniel, who lit him up for 15 in the first half, gets his 6th rebound of the game.
And I talked about his quick feet, Jim. He is just so quick out there. He is again. You just can't stop him.
McDaniel. Now with 19, yes. That tie is a career high. Bonner looked like a travel.
Back to that matchup 2-3 zone. Arkansas has shown a lot of looks here tonight. Man-to-man, 2-3, a 1-3-1 matchup.
Travel this time. They got it.
A good drop down in there by McDaniel, and Stewart double teamed. No place for Seals to go.
Kwanzaa Johnson. How many guys do you know started their career at a different school in a different sport and then transfer and become Division I basketball player? Kwanzaa Johnson started on a track scholarship at Kansas. Collier wanting to set up for it. Well, you can just see him getting his feet set.
You know, it's interesting, Jim, when he moves in towards the basket, as he did in the last 2 threes that he's put up there, he really buries him.
Stewart almost lost control of it. 23, by the way, for Collier tonight.
What this defense has done for Tubby Smith, too, is take away the half-court set that Arkansas was running so effectively for Corliss Williamson. He hadn't touched it in a while. Posted up now.
Watch this shot. There he is. Look it back.
Well, Pooh Williamson just too small for him down on the inside.
Alvin Williamson, his 2nd personal foul. Team foul number 7.
BC, a number 9 seed in the regional final. First number 9 since St. Joe's back in '81 to make a regional final.
Well, how about Glenn Robinson off to the start he is? He's got a chance, if they were to continue to win, to chase Glenn Rice's all-time scoring record for an NCAA tournament.
You may have seen that other note that 12 seeds are 0-7 when making it to the Sweet 16 game.
Well, if a 12 seed makes it to a Sweet 16, they have to consider that their Final Four. I think it's a great accomplishment. I think Dick Karen at Richmond used to talk about that. That said, for my program to make it to a Sweet 16 is my Final Four objective. Pretty realistic. And he had excellent success at Richmond following that theory.
Who will forget Richmond, Syracuse, or Richmond, Indiana?
And now let's see if they're not playing a little boxing one here on Collier. McDaniel's on Collier. The rest are playing the box.
Pooh Williamson. Dawkins, layup.
And you wonder if Nolan Richardson is doing that to get some practice for a future game.
Perhaps a Jalen Rose materializes. Under 5 minutes to go. 14-point advantage. Back to the line for two.
Well, normally he's had Williamson on him, but that time, even with a Dawkins on him, he's just so strong in his upper body.
This is the first game back at Reunion Arena for Arkansas since the 1991 Southwest Conference Tournament. They swept right through that tournament with 3 wins, scoring over 100 points in all 3 games. Overall, they've won 11 straight here. They call it the Barnhill of the South.
Would they change that name to the Walton of the South? Nolan, of course, had to suffer through some tragedy and some tough going for his ball club there in a couple early years. But you have to give an awful lot of credit for his stick-to-itiveness and that of Frank Broyles as well. And now he is the host of the town and of the state. Let's see. Yeah, they stay with the box and one. Now watch, McDaniel on Collier. Even with this lead, not much time to go. Nolan Richardson still thinking out there.
Dawkins. 15, that's Stewart, that's his 4th. Well, Nolan Richardson, as you said, the toast of the town, the state.
Dwight Stewart is 4th.
Maybe the nation on April the 4th.
Well, he's got the team in the tournament to beat right now.
Lou Dawkins, 2 shots.
And was in the #1 position the regular season more than anybody else in the country. Got knocked out of the SEC tournament by Kentucky.
But again, that's almost proven to be a blessing this year.
Well, we talked about it. The 8 conferences with 2 or more teams in the tournament this year. All 8 postseason conference champion was out. Never made it to the Sweet 16, including that #1 seeded North Carolina. And Massachusetts played so well.
Kentucky. Williams banks it home. He's 9 for 12 from the floor, 75%. Pull up 3.
And Williamson takes off on the other end. He sees that Stewart's got the rebound, and the Hogs just start running.
That means Williamson is 9 field goal attempts away from maybe overtaking Bill Walton as the most accurate shooter in the record books for the NCAA tournament. You need 70 career attempts. Right. And he's now 46 of 61.
How about a 62?
47 of 62.
Well, there has, in fairness to Tulsa, they have not had an answer for Corliss Williamson tonight. They started out tonight putting Collier on him. Collier has had a great career, terrific competitor, but just giving up too much weight, too much strength, too much size. Nice pump fake. The high school All-American, proven to be everything people expected.
You know, with his size, that number 34 that he wears, I thought, well, maybe he's modeling something after Barkley. But he said actually the 34 was for Reggie Williams of Georgetown. He grew up as one of his favorites. So Arkansas pulling away with its largest lead, heading to the Great 8. Has a trailer coming after it. Shea Seals will shoot a couple with 4 seconds remaining.
Well, he wanted to dunk it, but that was a good clean play by Biggers. He didn't try to chop him after the ball.
Shea Seals.
And Arkansas tonight has had nothing more than a nice firm workout. Have their sights set for bigger things.
Tubby Smith. He said before the season, Nolan's talking about Nolan Richardson, who led Tulsa to the NIT title. His shadow is here because of what he accomplished. It'll be until we do something special, like go to the NCAAs or win a game in the NCAAs, until they'll recognize that this is now my program. That's 2 coaches later.
Yep.
And he's more than accomplished that, making it to the Sweet 16.
Well, you know, he was the associate head coach under Rick Pitino.
For 2 years.
Yeah, and then he, of course, has worked under Georgie Felton and also J.D. Barnett, so he has had some pretty good tutors.
They bring Collier out of the game for a chance.
Terrific job.
To honor him, closing out his career. 3rd all-time score at Tulsa, 35 tonight. That tied his career high. Wilson dunks it.
Well, Dillard hasn't had any threes tonight, but he's been on the money with a lot of passes.
Arkansas with its best shooting effort of the season. It was an 8-point advantage with 12 minutes remaining, and then they broke free. Chevrolet players of the game were Corliss Williamson from Arkansas and Gary Collier from Tulsa. Finished his career tying his all-time high with 35. The Hogs are in the final 8. We'll play the winner of Maryland, Michigan. Let's go back to New York. Pat O'Brien and James Brown.
All right, Jim, thank you. See you later. Here's what's going on. Boston College has advanced. Arkansas, as you see, has advanced. Florida-UConn about to set. We're going to send everybody to Miami to watch the Florida-UConn game. And then those of you watching Maryland and Michigan, we'll get you to that game. This will be bonus coverage after a commercial.